Hello guys, on today's tutorial we will learn how to handle an array of images and how to send them properly to the backend with Webflow, Wized, and Xano. Okay, so for our Webflow setup, we have a simple form where we have an item that has a Wized attribute. The form also has a Wized attribute right here. Each item that we will be rendering has an image inside of it. It also has an attribute, a Wized attribute. What else has a Wized attribute? We have an element that is hidden by default that will, whenever we hover over the item, we will show it so people can delete the image that they have uploaded. And finally, we also have a file input. It's a custom element in Webflow it has a tag of input, and then we have everything set up to be able to upload multiple files and also only accept images. Probably here we should also allow more types of images, but I just have set it up super simple so we cannot just allow 3 types of files here. And finally, we also have a submit button right here that also has a Wized attribute because we want to show the loader while we are uploading the files to the backend. Now let me show you my Xano setup. In Xano we just have a table that is called files tutorial, where we just have an ID, the created at timestamp, and the image metadata. That's pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward, and we have created an endpoint here called upload_files, and we are just looping through each file resource. This is an input that has a list because we will receive multiple images where we are doing a for each loop, and then we create the image metadata out of the file resource, out of each item that we're iterating through, and then we just add the record inside the table. We haven't even tested this. Let's get right into it, into our Wized setup. Okay team, so let's get started in Wized. By the way, shout out to the Wized team for the new UI. It looks fantastic, and it's not only a new UI as well, it's a whole new experience. So we need to get used to it, but it's just way better now. So definitely, the future is exciting, team. Let's start. So the first thing that we need to do, and let me just refresh here the page, is that whenever there's an onChange event here on this input, we want to render the images right here. You should be able to upload multiple images, only one image, it doesn't matter, it should then push all those images into this array that will be rendering these images here. Now, in order to render an image here in the front end, we need to have we need to create a URL out of that blob, out of each file. It will be something that will be locally stored here in your browser. So we need 2 arrays. One will be an array of blobs, and the other array will be of URLs that will be holding the sources of each image here that we will be rendering. And finally, we need the index that can be reused for both. So let's start with that. So we will create a first variable here. We will call it images array for the blobs. This will be for the blobs. Then we'll create another one. It will be images URL array. Okay, cool. By the way, let's set a default to be an empty array. Yeah, let's set it out to be an empty array by default. Also here too, where we'll be holding all the blobs. Now, what else? Oh, we're missing the index. Let's call it images index. Okay, cool. We don't need to set any values there. Now let's get started. So we can do this, images input, and now we can create an event here. On change of this input, we want to run a function. I already have a function that I'm reusing from another project. By the way, guys, please always use ChatGPT. Don't be scared about writing JavaScript. You don't need to understand every single line of code, but you need to have a good understanding of the syntax, and also to know what is going on each step. Ideally, they say you don't need to be able to write all the lines of code. You can help yourself with ChatGPT that can make things way quicker for you. So let me just show you what is going on here. We are creating a variable called selected files, and we are also creating here an array from the target, from the event. We're taking the target, we're taking the files out of the input that has the event on change. From there, we are setting the variable of images list that is an array by default, and we are, splitting that array, and also we're splitting the array that we just created for the selected files. By the way, let's just change this. I don't know what's the variable here. What's the name of the variable? Because this is used from another project, images array. So let's do v.images array. And also here, let's do v.images URL array. Okay, let's replace this, and let's also replace this right here. Awesome. So now, after we have run the event, we are setting up the value of the images inputs to be empty. Now there is also a better way to do this. We can do event target that or event. Can we do that node? Yeah, the trigger of the event, and then we just set the value to be empty. Yep, that's pretty much it. So let's see what's going on. Let's see what happens. So now, on change of this input, okay, I don't know what happened. Let's first, in order to see what's going on, because Wized won't show me what if we have pushed an update here. Not sure why, but what we can do is render this list of images here to check what's going on. So images item, we will render this. This is the index, and the values will be returned. Wait, variable. This is v images URL array. Good. So now that we're rendering the items, we can check what's going on. Awesome. So every single time that we upload even the same image, it automatically adds to the array. So that's great. That's why, I cleared the value of the input in case I want to upload the same images twice. I know it's a weird scenario, but we just need to make sure that people is able to upload the same image twice. Now, we know that the array is working, so now let's set the source out of each image. So this is pretty straightforward. Here we can do an HTML attribute of source, and then we can do return. We have our variables here. One of them is v.images URL array, and the value will be the index inside of it. So we can do v.images index. As simple as that. And now if we refresh the page and we upload an image here, we should be able to see the image that we have uploaded. So that's awesome. Now, what else do we want to do? We also want to be able to delete the images from here. So on hover of this item, so on event, what did I do? Add an event on hover, or this is not like CSS hover. We need to do mouse enter. We want to do a run function, and here we want to select the item inside of it. So this will be like this, trigger that children that we don't need to select it this way. Let's do that node. We can do document query selector with equals image item delete, and we want to do on class list remove the class height. Awesome. So let's check this out. Let's see what's going on. Here, we upload an image. Obviously it's not removing it because we need to set up the event for that event, the mouse, leaves. So we are going to add another event here. This is awesome. Mouse leave. And let's just copy the same code that we have right here. Let's do run function here. Oh, where is it? Okay, that's a weird glitch, but I guess, and we want to add the class height. So now we upload an image. Awesome. What else do we want to do? Here we want to, for this image item delete, we want to make sure that we are able to remove the image out of this array, right? So image delete on event. Oh my God, sorry guys, I'm getting used to this. On click, we want to run a function where we want to remove the image out of the blobs array and the URLs array. So let's do that. So let's do image to delete index here. Let's select the index. So let's do equals, and we are going to take here the variable that is called v images index from this current event. So we have, let's do let images image index, or index to delete, sorry, index to delete. So from there, what we can do is take this index and remove it out of the array. So let's use ChatGPT for that. Remove certain item from an array with the index. I forgot to say to use JavaScript, but it did use it, so that's awesome. Now we have the array and the index to remove, so let's copy all of this, paste it again, and we will do array 1. We will also do array 2. We also have the index here to remove. And what we want to do here, the array 1 will be images array, v.images array. I don't know why it's not showing me the current variables that I have, but I guess it's fine. v.images URL array. Okay, cool. So now we want to take array 1 and replace that, and also we want to do the same for array 2. Fantastic. So let's check what happens here. Okay, add an image. Let's add another one. Let's delete one. Okay, something happened here. Oh, obviously it's because we are, not really setting this to be the images. Let's just replace this directly. Yeah, my mistake, guys. Here, let's first replace this array here. Let's replace this right here. Awesome. Now let's take the other one, the second one, and let's also replace this right here. Awesome. Let's see what happens. So now we add an image, we add another one, and now if I click here, it removes it. So that's awesome. By the way, do I have other images? Yeah, I have the screenshots here. Another screenshot. Let's add this screenshot. Sorry, my mistake. Let's add this one. And now if I delete this, okay, awesome. Fantastic, it's working perfect. Now let's jump into the most complex step, that is how do we send the data to the backend. It's not complex, but it's just slightly a bit of work, but we will definitely be able to use ChatGPT for that. Okay guys, now let's send the files that we have here to our backend. So let me just first delete this so you can see that we can now upload multiple images at once. It will render all of the items. Now we want to create an event here on the form that we have here, submit images form, and we want to create an event. On submit, we want to prevent the default because we don't want the successful, trigger that Webflow has. We want to prevent that. I want to run a function. And I will just paste the code that I have here from my other project. And I will show you what is going on every single part of it. So let me just show you. First of all, here, let me just remove this because we are not using that. Let me just show you what is going on. So first of all, here, we have created a variable called tutorials folder base URL. Why is this for? On the project, you want to keep it super dynamic. And whenever you create a new app, right, you will always be adding a new app right here. And you will be calling this, I don't know, tutorial folder Xano, right? Because this is the base URL of your folder in Xano. And you will select a REST API. And here you will normally write a string, right? The URL. But then in the future, you are not able to use this data, this app right here inside a fetch request inside JavaScript. So in order to keep that dynamic, I have created a variable called tutorial folder base URL. And this is only the base. So what I'm going to do here, this is going to be returned with the tutorial base URL. So now we can use this variable to use inside a fetch API request inside JavaScript, inside any JavaScript that we run here. So I will go here to submit image form, the event, and then as you can see, we have the variable and we have the last part of our folder, upload files. You can see right here. Now, what are we doing here? So first of all, we are passing this function called upload images, a blob array. So this is an array of blobs. And the button that will be, we will be setting the class of is loading whenever the request is happening. So here at the end of the whole function, let me just show you what is going on inside of it. We are setting up the blob array, that is our variable images array. And we are also selecting the button, the upload button, because it's, we're getting it by the Wized attribute. And after that, we are running the function and passing these two values that we have set up just before. But what is going on inside the function? So first of all, we are looping through each file inside the blob array, and we are appending that to the images field as form data. And so, by the way, we are not only setting the name of the field to be images, just like we have it in Xano, but we are setting up a couple of brackets right here because Xano only will get one file if you don't add the brackets. They will only get the first file. This is because of the setup, the backend setup that Xano has. Now, while this request is happening, we want to add the class isLoading. It's a class that I have already created in Webflow. If I add the class here, isLoading, as you can see, we have loading there. So now, while the request is happening, we set the class, and then we are setting the API endpoint that we will be sending the data to, and then we're passing all of the values, right? This is going to be a method post. We are sending the data as binary data, as form data, and we're setting these two headers. That this is super important in the past tutorial that I have shared with you guys, how to set, the xData sort header and the xBranch header. So we need to pass those because, we don't want to be changing things manually in the future. This all needs to be dynamic with our setup, with our Wized request or anything like that. So now, if the response is okay, then we are wait for the result as a JSON, and then we're console logging this like upload successful. We don't need this. And after that, we want to clear the images that we have uploaded and the URLs that we have uploaded because we want to clear all of the inputs. We want to be able to upload images again. We don't want to keep those images in the front end. Otherwise, we want to show console log an error. That's pretty cool. Or as well, we can catch the error while uploading. And finally, we are removing the class out of the element of the button. And that's pretty much it, what's going on. So let's just test it and let's see what's going on. Let's refresh. Let's upload images here. And now let's go here into, yeah, let's just run this, submit. Fantastic, it cleared the values. And now if I refresh this, what is it? It's 8:23 p.m. So this might take a little bit. Let's just wait for it. Okay, cool. As you can see, inside our input we have the 3 images that we just sent, and our output is success. And those records were added just now at 8:24. So let's take a look to those. Let's type here files tutorials. Oh, this is the live branch. We are just sending it to the test. As you can see, 8:23, little less than 24. Those 3 images were uploaded. By the way, I had tested the flow before, just in case, so the tutorial, you know, it's super quick and we don't have any issues. I hope you guys liked it, and I hope it's useful and you use this setup for, you know, a Wized project that you're building for your client.